Barrow satisfied with progress of infrastructure projects in Banjul. We take victims' rights seriously, lead council respond to criticisms. These and more coming on Gambia 24. You're watching Gambia 24 with me, Mariama Cham. Thanks for joining us, and now the news in detail. The Gambian President, Adama Barrow, on Wednesday conducted an inspection tour of ongoing infrastructure projects in the capital city, Banjul. The President was accompanied by senior government officials as he inspected roads and sewage projects initiated by his government. Details in this report.
The infrastructure projects visited by the President include roads and a sewage system. Accompanied by ministers from his cabinet, Adam Barrow said he was satisfied with the progress made in these projects.
Concrete and paved roads, drainage and sewage system in all these cities. This is the way we are thinking. We have already assessed Serekunda. Serekunda and its catchment areas is about 500 kilometers. If you want to do that, you have to do the roads, you have to do the drainage and sewage together. And we are studying it. And really, we think we will contact our partners so that we will work together and do Serekunda and do other places.
So far, are you satisfied with the work done?
I am satisfied with the work. And the man.
Adam Barrow also said he was delighted for the support given to his administration by the people of Banjul. The Gambian president made a stop at King Fahad Mosque, where he was welcomed by Banjul Muslim elders and members of the Supreme Islamic Council. The Imam Ratib of Banjul, Chono Aliu Maska, said all imams in the country are preaching with one voice for peace and the betterment of the country.
All
the imams in the country are the same voice, calling for peace, so that everyone will be in peace. We are praying for peace and stability, and that is why your peacefulness will be strengthened by Allah, and there are people who only talk on the words of Allah. The president also reiterated his government's commitment to transforming the capital city. His government has launched several ambitious infrastructural projects across the country, including roads, bridges, and markets. For Air Africa TV, I'm Omar Ahmad Toure.
President Adama Barrow earlier today visited the ongoing infrastructure projects in the city of Banjul. Now, on Tuesday, the lone survivor of the 2005 killing of more than 50 West African migrants joined families of other victims asking Gambia's Truth Commission to call on officials to the present and the former governments, directly or indirectly involved, to testify. Martin Kere and the victims' families want Gambia's current Minister of Interior, Yankuba Sonko, the current Basse Police Commissioner, Esa Bani, to appear before the Truth Commission. More in this by Ndesise.
With calls for justice increasingly delayed by what activists say appears to be a lack of will from the government of Ghana and the previous and current governments of the Gambia. The fight for justice for more than 50 West African migrants killed in the Gambia in July 2005 have now reached the ECOWAS Court of Justice. People who participated in the killings have already confessed to the Gambia's Third Commission, but this did not stop a coalition of activists in Ghana and the Gambia to push for more testimonies and evidence. Therefore, they have called on the Third Commission to summon key individuals in the previous and the current governments of the Gambia to testify before it on the 2005 killings. To respond to this call, Third Commission's lead counsel, Issa Fall, on Wednesday, told journalists that the Commission takes the rights of victims and that of their families seriously.
The TRRC takes the massacre of the 56 West Africans very, very seriously. We take very seriously any single loss of life, let alone the senseless massacre of 56 West Africans.
Martin Keira and the families of the victims of the 2005 killings criticized the Third Commission for ignoring their correspondences. On Wednesday, The Commission's lead counsel said the Commission has yet to conclude its investigations on the threat of the migrants, but initial investigations revealed that they were killed by the junglers, a death squad operated by former President Yahya Jammeh.
We have not completed our investigation of the massacre of the West African migrants. We've done the first part, which is to bring out the evidence of the junglers who carried out the killings. And I think that put to rest the question as to whether those migrants died and where they were killed and by whom they were killed. But of course, there are certain things that we still need to do in order to finish this investigation.
Pressure is mounting on the governments of the Gambia and Ghana to bring to justice those responsible for the killing of the West African migrants. But Issa Fall said the Commission will do its work without pressure or instructions from any institution or individual.
But I would say it quite clearly that the TRRC would not dance to the tune of any individual or institution. We will not be directed to or dictated by anyone as to what to do or how to do our work. We would do it to the best of our ability. We would do what we believe is right. We would do what we believe is what we should do in order to discharge our responsibilities under the Act.
In July 2005, 44 Ghanaian migrants and 12 other West Africans from Nigeria, Senegal, Togo, and Cote d'Ivoire were forcibly disappeared in the Gambia while on their way to Europe by sea. The migrants, including one Gambian, were never heard from again except for one who managed to escape and alert authorities across the border in Senegal. For iAfrica News, I am DCC.
Migrant victims calling on alleged perpetrators to appear before the Truth Commission. We will now take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
In the mood of pranking your friends? Change your voice and spice up your calls with AfriCell Magic Voice Service. You can choose to talk with a cartoon, a woman's or a monster's voice for only $1 per day. To activate the magic voice, call or SMS 188 or simply dial *188#. Have fun and enjoy the laughs.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Consumers need service providers, and service providers are there because there are consumers.
Regarding to the network issues, it is a concern and it's a problem to everybody.
Man tay so gisee ma ñëw dama bëgg a déglu ma xam ban problème la ci network am.
Dégg naa bu baax jàngee naa lu bari te ëllëg lu dooree ëllëg ñu ngi door di implement ci li ngeen a wax yépp.
Are you looking for help from Pura, or do you want NAVEC to make a public commitment here in front of everyone?
And Pura to help me solve this once and for all. 2.5 years is a long time.
Don't go to Pura, come to NAVEC. No, NAVEC will solve your problem.
Kela sibitole till Tandim Fula, December 2020. Sa Dawda Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center. Tarantan Sumunda, Katafo Talawar, Pura. Melorin Kendekele, Kadoko Kemoli.
Welcome back, and you're still watching Gambia 24 here on Africa TV. Now, former prison warden who was arrested, detained and tortured for allegedly allowing an inmate access to a mobile phone has on Wednesday appeared at the Truth Commission. Bakari Tamba testified on how he was tortured by operatives of the National Intelligence Agency and members of the Pyramid Death Squad known as the Junglers. Fatmata Kasim reports.
Ex-prison officer Bakari Tamba said he was forced to admit giving a mobile phone to detainee Omar Bunbai, a former brigade general in the Gambian army. Mbai was accused alongside former army chief Langtombong Tamba of planning to overthrow the Jammeh government in November 2009. The former prison officer told the Truth Commission that he was beaten with 3 branches and hose pipes by state operative who didn't tell him why he was being treated that way. Tamba was in question as a normal investigation would be in dealing with suspects. Instead, he was forced to undress, tie, and beaten mercilessly.
They told me to take off my shirt. I took off my shirt and they tied me up. When they tied me up, they took these sticks. Nobody asked me a single question. They didn't ask me anything, and that's the time when they started to beat me up. They were beating me very seriously, and I was shouting, saying some things, incomprehensive things. They beat me up to the point that the neem tree branches that they brought in were all finished. When I realized that the beating that they are doing to me is not favorable to me. So that's the time when I told them, you people, you are beating me like this, and you didn't ask me anything, you didn't tell me anything. Why are you beating me?
Tamba said he was later told that he was being maltreated for allowing then Brigadier General Omar Bunbai access to a mobile phone. After initial denials, Tamba said he accepted that he gave the phone to Mbai when he could no longer withstand the beatings. His torturers even used a cutlass to beat him.
So time jomla do lorun kunde ka fa Michael Korea ay murwa babulo time because ye busol min belandi be kati telefone banda.
That was the time when there was a jongla called Michael Korea. He was standing over me with a cutlass in his hand. Because at that time the branches of the neem tree that they were using to beat me were all finished.
So I lipo murwa ram ko no wurda ko ganka ko ko sa yalla fango wala fo bay ko ham ko alla fango wala fo ko hayla fo so independent witness o kumandina iko we nana o nata lota so ko ngafo.
When I said that was the time when Michael Korea hit me very mercilessly with that cutlass in his hand on my back. That's the time when I shouted very loudly. I told them, why are you doing this to me? They told me to talk. Then I said, what do you want? Do you want me to say that I gave the mobile to Obimbai? They said, yes. This is what we want you to say. I said, is that what you want? They said again, this is what we want you to say. I said, okay. Then that's the time when they called somebody from outside whom they said is going to be an independent witness.
Tamba was later dismissed from the Gambia prison service after he was detained for almost 3 months and has yet to be reinstated. He told the Truth Commission that he wants his job back. He also said he still has health problems due to the torture he faced 10 years ago. For iAfrica TV, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
A former prison warden there sharing moments of torture meted on him by the then NIA. Now, lawmakers on Wednesday began the debate on the draft estimate of revenue and expenditure for the fiscal year 2021. The draft was presented to lawmakers by the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs on November 12th for scrutiny and approval. Let's take a listen. The estimated draft could not proceed due to motion moved by parliamentarians in order for committees, especially the Public Accounts Committee, to consolidate the report. However, the Public Accounts Committee has cut down the budget estimates on expenditure for almost all the fiscal year 2021. According to the report of the Public Finance Committee of the National Assembly, the committee has cut down the budget deficits of draft estimates. Sidia Jatta, the National Assembly member for Woolly West and also chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, stated the reasons for the cuts.
Honorable Speaker, I think it is important to state as a start that the essence of what we did as committees on the draft estimates was essentially to cut down the deficit of the budget. So in the view of FPAC, any savings that have been made in that process should not be plowed back into the same budget, because we will be defeating the purpose for which we did the cuts.
It could be recalled that there was a budget deficit of almost $6 billion in the fiscal year 2020. However, the Public Accounts Committee has cut down some ministries' budget expenditure on the draft bill, as explained by Alaji Mbow, a member of the Public Accounts Committee.
Now, the first one we're going to deal with is the National Audit Office. The National Audit Office, what was approved last year by us was 112 million. And they're requesting for 208 million for 2021 estimate. That's what they requested for. In our conversations with them, or in our meetings with them, we asked them to reduce their budget by 80 million, which they've agreed, and they've also done that. So really, there was no push and pull between us and them. They understood the economic situation of the country, and they've agreed to reduce their budget by 80 million. Essentially, what we are recommending is 128 million. Now, we have not cut any particular area. We've asked them to do the cutting themselves. We gave the knife back to them for them to cut, and they were able to cut and give us a report, which we're going to submit to the Minister of Finance so that they can do the reallocation, but they have actually agreed to cut 80 million.
The economy of the Gambia suffered a huge setback during the pandemic, as key revenue-generating sectors were closed due to government restrictions. Economic growth has also been revised downwards due to the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham. Lawmakers in Parliament debated on the draft estimate of revenue and expenditure of the fiscal year 2021. Now that story will bring us to the end of Gambia 24. Join us for more news on iAfrica.tv. I was your presenter Mariama Cham. Thanks for watching and have a good night.